Having been inundated with bad shows and bad movies for nearly all of 2024, I have been looking forward to a film that can genuinely surprise me. Something that leaves me asking questions and pondering the truth behind the sequence of events I've just witnessed. I'm a fan of the horror thriller genre, as stories that push the envelope of the human psyche I find to be the most interesting. Starve Acre. When their son starts acting strangely, a couple unwittingly allow dark and sinister forces into their home, awakening an ancient evil. Horror genre. Okay, I'm interested. But having watched the film, it was alright. Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Pondering. I am the real-life fake wizard. If this video brings you any value at all, please subscribe to the channel, where we're posting new videos nearly every day. After watching the abysmal Mickey's Mousetrap on demand, I saw in the recommendations this film called Starve Acre. Upon looking into it, at this time, there has not been a wide release for Starve Acre. It's not even in theaters yet, but it's available through YouTube for on-demand viewing. Based on a book with the same name, we find Matt Smith and Mulford Ct as our protagonist in God's country Yorkshire in some time period of the 1970s. The film explores concepts of grief and trauma through the protagonist, while also telling a folk horror tale that leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't think I could be too critical of the film. It's good. It's a good watch for slow burn horror fans, but it does leave much to be desired. I leave the film with tons of unanswered questions that I had to go to Google for answers for. And what sucks is that the answers I read online read way more compelling and satisfying than the actual film itself is. It's like, yeah, I just watched this hour and 40-minute movie, but this little paragraph on Wikipedia was more satisfying than the slow burn film. The acting was pretty good. I found myself constantly questioning if Matt Smith's character was insane, going insane, or just like, that's this dude, which I think was the intent, so cheers to that. I'm going to avoid giving away concrete spoilers, but to talk about the dark and sinister forces in the YouTube description just a bit, I wish they did a little more there. And I'm really hopeful that the book does expand on that more. There is really interesting lore and history there that the characters reference, but they only just touch upon it and then move along. I would have preferred we got a little more discussion about this dark force and what it is and what it wants and why. Instead, we get close-up, high-emotion shots of our protagonist actors that fill up the time. For an hour and 40 minutes, I found myself pausing constantly to check the time, with the idea of seeing if something was going to happen soon. I expected this was clearly ramping up to something, and it was. I just wish it was more. I wanted more from this film, and I don't know if that's the film's fault or if the book is unsatisfying in that regard too. Regardless, this is good enough to catch when and if it goes streaming mainstream. It's a slow burn, so don't expect very much to happen until the end. It's the kind of film you don't really need to watch multiple times. On the opening of the film, I was reminded of The Witch by Robert Eggers. Not to make comparisons, but like Robert Eggers films have strong rewatchability. And this is not worth rewatching ever again. This is for fun. There's a scene early on with an establishing shot of a television that's on, and it's an old film with Michael Caine and Gene Hackman. In my head, I thought, ooh, Michael Caine. I love Michael Caine. And it's like the movie heard my thoughts, because the next line in the film was, I never understood the appeal of Michael Caine. F you, film. Don't judge me. You know, with any movie that touches upon supernatural themes, there's a threshold crossover point where the film deviates away from real-world relatability, right? For example, the Netflix show The Last Kingdom is a historical fiction about Saxons and Danes battling out before becoming a united England. Amazing show, by the way. And so this show constantly makes reference to the Christian God and Jesus Christ, while also discussing the Norse and pagan gods. The characters in the show are true believers of their respective religions, but there's never a divine intervention from one religion or the other. We explore what the characters do without God ever becoming a character with lines, right? Now, I will say, I didn't watch the last season or the movie yet, so everything I just said could be bullshit, but let's just assume I'm right for this example. Then on the flip side, let's look at Robert Eggers' The Witch again. Throughout the film, there is references to otherworldly interactions, but there's a definitive crossover point at the end where it becomes clear supernatural stuff exists in this world, and it's done in a fantastic way. It's like every story has this no way back point on believability. Is all the supernatural stuff real in this world, or is the character going mad and seeing things that aren't there? Can what's happening in this movie actually happen in real life, right? In Iron Man 1, it's not unbelievable that a man crafts a suit of armor that flies. Shit, if we can use science to take seeds out of a watermelon, it's only a matter of time before we can make Iron Mans. But by the introduction of Thor, you're no longer in the realm of real-world believability, right? We're out of the real-world concept and into the fantasy. And I talk about all of this to say that Starve Acre has a threshold crossover moment that I really, really liked. I'm not going to spoil it, but it involves one character confirming that what another character is interacting with is in fact real to the context of the world. Starve Acre is available on YouTube now for on-demand viewing, but like I said before, I just catch it on a streaming network. It's a one-time watch and quickly forgettable. There are other movies like it that are better, but the cast here makes up the difference. My friends, I want to thank you for joining me for this Pondering special. If you would please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you liked what I had to say, thanks. If you didn't like what I had to say, thanks for hanging out. Sorry. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire. May the force be with you. And for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus. It's going up to $16.99, by the way, for the no ads edition. That ain't worth it. Ta-ta.